It's time once again for That Business Show with Jamie and Kelly. That Business Show gives a voice to Tampa Bay's entrepreneurial community and highlights our community leaders, aiming to inspire and educate our listeners. Become a part of the entrepreneurial movement today by becoming a member of the Tampa Bay Business Owners and get your brand on air today. Visit TampaBayRadio.com for more information. All shows available on demand. Now, here are your hosts, Jamie and Kelly.
Hey, good morning, everybody, and thanks for tuning in to That Business Show with Jamie and Kelly, where business becomes show business. Kelly, good morning to you. How are you doing today?
Good morning. I'm good. Happy Monday.
Happy Monday to you as well. How was the Thanksgiving break?
It was good. I ate a lot. I think just as all Americans do through the Thanksgiving holiday. But what about you? I
spent it mostly working and recovering from an injury that I incurred Friday night at the hockey game that you and I attended. That just shows how out of shape I am. I sneezed and something moved inside my underneath my right rib cage, and it hurt like all hell. By the way, and I have not recovered from it since. I couldn't even breathe.
And what's bad is that he's hurt and I'm laughing, and I continue to laugh as we talk about it. Jamie makes everything funny. So even though something should be serious, I can't help but to laugh.
No, I thought something exploded inside of me. I don't know what happened there, but it feels like a spasm now, but it's still like that night I couldn't even move around. It hurt to breathe. It hurt
if
to
we
talk.
have any doctors listening to the show this morning, you should email Jamie and give him, he definitely needs some help.
This is just part of my, lackadaisical or, my... I just not working out and staying in shape. I'm just kind of doing the business thing, and it's just a sneeze now puts me out. That's how out of shape I am.
Well, that's not a good thing.
It hurt like all hell too.
Well,
I thought my spleen exploded or something. I don't even know if the spleen's there or not, but so.
Oh, goodness. Well, I keep saying I've been trying to adjust to the early morning schedule now, and it's been a couple months, and so I think I'm slowly adjusting. But the idea is, once I've adjusted, is to get into a workout routine where I can work off and get into more of a regimen. But I'm so tired from getting up so early, it's hard to do that yet.
I used to
My
work
whole
out
point
regularly,
is I'm
too.
going to make you work out too, and then you won't sneeze and bust your spleen or something. I don't know.
And I used to work out regularly. I used to have a trainer. I've been paying for a gym membership for 3 years, and I haven't went. I don't even know why I keep paying for it, because I know when I quit paying for it, I'm going to want to buy it back again. So and just my wasteful mentality right there. But no, I looked it up. I know maybe it's like a gallstone or something, because I was reading it's like right up underneath my right rib cage, and I guess the gallbladder is over there, and so I might have a gallstone, which is related to like a kidney stone, and I don't know. But yeah, I couldn't even move around. It was that bad. So. I sneezed out and we're like by the concession stand. I was like, oh man, we might have to go here. I might have to call an ambulance. I'm out of shape. So.
From a sneeze, that's not good. So my idea is workout wise, like training as if you're a boxer. Not to box competitively, but I think it'd be really cool to some kind of a different type of workout.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking boxing.
I did train with boxing up there at Legends Boxing Gym. My friend Francisco Ariola, who runs Legends Boxing, trained with him for about a year. Lost about 30 pounds with him, but he has a pretty good little boxing gym up there. So
yeah, he's the one that you mentioned does not have air conditioning, correct?
No, it's a rugged boxing gym. This ain't
I don't
no
know if I want that
lifestyles
rugged.
or anything like this. Is a true rugged boxing gym. You go in there, no air conditioning, weights and a ring, and you just get in there and you fight and you lift weights and you get in shape. And so you lose about 10 pounds just going in there and sweating it off each.
Yeah, I
want
to train to fight, not necessarily fight. Or train to fight, but you know what I mean.
Yeah, Francisco Ariola. It's over there on it's either Howard or Armenia, one of those two. I think that's Howard over there. So just right there, just north of Kennedy there. So check it out there. Nice little place. LegendsBoxingClub.com, I think, is the URL. So.
Well, I would like an authentic boxing place to train, but air conditioning would be a plus, especially
you want to go to like
in the
Punch
summertime.
or something. Yeah, Punch.
That's well, not to talk badly about, but isn't Punch more? That's commercialized, isn't it?
No, that's what I'm saying. If you want air conditioning.
Well, there has to be some other local opportunities or options. So KW at edgebusiness.org, you can send me over any boxing ideas that you might have for training. So, yeah, and as the new year, I'm sure many people are going to start working out. Do you have any New Year resolutions?
No, I don't do those things.
I always call them New Year intentions.
New Year intentions.
That way, I don't ever want to set myself up to not be successful in something. So I would just say my New Year intentions are.
Very
So
well. We'll plan some of those, and maybe I'll put some down on paper, and we'll discuss them and everything. Everybody talks about how we need to delegate and plan, so maybe I should listen to them and actually do that instead of living off of impulse, which is what I typically do. So,
I don't know. You're a planner. I mean,
to some degree. I
Yeah.
plan to eat.
Well, yeah, we're gonna work on that.
All right, so
We don't
let's
want
go-
your sneezes to cripple you in the future.
All right, let's go and bring in our guest for this segment, Bryant Jones, who's with us also in the 7:30 hour. He is still with us. He's the
We're
president.
not letting him leave
He
yet.
is the president of Sabal Trust Company. You can learn more at sabaltrust.com. So, Bryant, welcome back into the program today.
Welcome back.
Good morning.
And so,
That was a show, I think.
for
welcome
the
back.
listeners that are just tuning in, tell us again, about Sabal Trust and what this is.
Sure. Sabal Trust Company, we're a wealth management firm. Here in the Tampa Bay area, we have offices in St. Pete, Tampa, Sarasota, and the Villages. And what we do is really three things. We manage investments. We serve as a professional trustee, as a corporate trustee. And we handle estate settlement.
Now, you are an employee-owned company. We talked about, a little bit more what that meant in the 7:30 segment. Now, you came into the firm a year ago, and you were talking about how it's kind of difficult to get into the firm as an employee because it is employee-owned. Talk to us about your transition and how you got into the firm, and just some of the differences being in this type of an environment.
Yeah, so it was kind of an interesting story. The firm that I came from, I ran a business where we worked with wealth management firms like Sabal across the country. Sabal was our first client, and so got to know the firm, got to see them grow and to see their business model take off. And I'll tell you, I worked with probably 160 firms ranging from startups all the way to household name wealth management firms, typically that had a trust arm to them. And there was, without a doubt, none of them had the quality of talent and really the level of business that Sabal did. And so it had always been a firm that I had been tied to. So one of the founders of the firm came to me a couple of years ago and said, "Hey, Bryant, we've got this position. Do you know anybody who might fit it?" And I said, "I know exactly one person, nobody else."
So you volunteered yourself for the
exactly.
for the job.
Exactly.
What did you do with your the business? Was it your own business before
It was
Sabal?
No, it was a firm that was roughly about 300 employees and an interesting firm. And we worked with wealth management firms. We worked with firms in the retirement business, and we got to a point where we sold it to a very large firm. And good company, and stayed around there for a while, and frankly was happy. But for Sabal, when Sabal called and said, "Hey, can you help us out?"
And you were in Atlanta, right?
I was in Atlanta.
Packed your
Yep.
bags, headed to Tampa.
Absolutely.
Is Sabal based here in Tampa?
Yep, our headquarters are in St. Pete. We have an office in Tampa, and then, as I mentioned earlier, offices in Sarasota in the Villages. So it's we're in our communities. We the name of the company is based on the Sabal palm, and so we're
you see that with
Florida
the
based.
logo
Yeah.
there, the Sabal palm.
Yeah,
Yes,
absolutely. So we're Florida based. We're in and about our communities. We're an important part of it, and look to continue to expand on that.
So you're brought in as president, and this again is a wealth management business. So let's talk about some of the keys to success in running a wealth management business. What can you share with us?
We talked about this a little bit earlier. At the end of the day, it begins with having a strong discipline in knowing who you are. And that's true not just from an investment standpoint and how you want to manage money and what you want to accomplish with that, but also in the types of clients that you're going to serve. The cliche is you can't be all things to all people, and it's 100% true in wealth management. And so you start with that, you build a culture around that, and then you go hire the best people you possibly can.
Now, how do you invest the assets once they're turned over to you in the trust? Do you is it like when you go to a financial advisor and they say, "Do you want to be aggressive or conservative?" Do you offer the same type of products?
What we do is it starts with a conversation. It starts with a really deep conversation. It's not just about filling out a questionnaire and some formula that tells you, okay, you've got a risk tolerance of 7 on a scale of 1 to 10. It's really about what are your hopes and dreams, what do you want to accomplish, what are your fears, what are your what is it that you want to have your money do for you over the next period of time, and then after you're gone. And so with that, we then start with what's called an asset allocation, and that's where you You split out, in general, how much you're going to have in bonds, which typically behave one way, and in stocks, which behave another way. And once we do that, we have a strategy that we put in place for both. And really, the core of the strategy is this: we want to protect what our clients have earned. We want to generate cash from our equity portfolio. So what that means is we want stocks that pay dividends and that are growing their dividends. And we want to reduce volatility, the ups and downs. We don't want them to be as wide. So here's why. Our clients typically are approaching retirement, at retirement, or frankly, capital preservation is important to them. It's very important to them. And when you're at retirement, that's your quality of life. You lose 40% of your portfolio in a down market.
That could be substantial.
It's absolutely, and it affects what you can and cannot do. And reality is, you don't have time to make it back.
Right.
You mentioned that you want stocks that pay dividends, and I remember studying this because I have a finance degree. Most stocks, they reinvest the dividends or they don't pay the dividends. Yeah, you're in the market, I'm not, but how many stocks out there are actually paying dividends to their investors?
There are plenty. There are a lot. What we look for are firms that not just pay dividends, but consistently pay them over long periods of time and consistently grow them. And we do that for a lot of reasons. One is that obviously it generates cash. Two, it's indicative of profitability. But here's the other thing. If you're a management team and you have a history of your company growing its dividend, that means you're going to make decisions that really in many ways revolve around protecting that dividend and the ability to grow it. So we think that means you're going to be a better steward. That doesn't mean growth companies can't be great companies and they can't have great stewards of the assets, but we feel like when you're concerned about risk, we feel like those companies that have consistently grown their dividends and will continue to do that give you a level of protection, but also allow you to participate as the market grows as well.
So that's a more stable investment.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
What are some of the trends in the wealth management business today?
Sure. So, wealth is like a lot of, in investments in particular, it's, there's always a different trend. And, you hear this active versus passive management. So passive management is where you buy an index or a big basket of stocks. You don't really care who's in it. It fits a certain segment of the market or the market as a whole.
Shouldn't you always care who's in it?
We believe
in your
you do.
opinion?
We believe you do. There's a case to be made for both. What we feel like, though, is that, again, if you start from a charge of we want to protect assets and we want to protect the cash flow and quality of life of our clients, we feel like that standard of care requires that you invest in really good companies that you feel really good about and that you can keep an eye on and be able to move and react as the market changes. Now, we're not high turnover. We're not flipping stocks left and right, but we need to have the ability to adjust to protect our client assets. So, for example, 2008, S&P's down 40%. We're down 10%, and the reason is that we had great investment people who were focused on risk and were willing to give up returns when the market was running up, so that we wouldn't have
Isn't the S&P
life-changing
kind
loss.
of the benchmark that money managers measure themselves against? If they're at least meeting the S&P, then they're doing good. Is that kind of
that's typically the benchmark. And different types of managers use different types of benchmarks. But I think if you were to statistically, how many money managers on average can beat the S&P every year? Most don't, right? Most don't.
That's what I thought.
Our numbers stack up very well with that, and if you're underperforming at 75% or capturing 75% of the upside when the market's going up, and you capture only 50% of the downside over long periods of time,
why aren't all the funds then just investing in the S&P then?
Well, in our instance, we've outperformed it. But the other problem with that is that take a 2008 where the S&P's down 40%. You're going to ride down with it,
right? And
you have no means. And for some folks, that's okay. For many folks, they say, hey, I've got a long time horizon. My risk tolerance is high. I'm willing to do that. For our client base who has their risk tied up in their businesses or has a retirement at stake or has a quality of life that's based on the value of their portfolio, man, a 40% loss is devastating.
Hold that point there. We've got to take a break, but we'll continue this discussion when we come back. We're currently talking to Bryant Jones, president of Sabal Trust Company, and learn more at sabaltrust.com. You're listening to That Business Show with Jamie and Kelly, where business becomes show business.
Are you in need of new flooring or ready to tackle that home remodeling project? Then contact Yeager & Company Incorporated, a family-owned, state-certified general contracting business with over 70 years of experience and the recipient of the Angie's List Super Service Award for the last 8 years in multiple categories. Yeager & Company comes to you with their shop-at-home flooring sales service, and their hardwood flooring refinishing is the very best in the Bay. Kitchen and bath design featuring American-made, well-born cabinets, and all work is done by employees, not subcontractors. Learn more at YeagerFlooring.com.
If you've been following That Business Show on Facebook and Twitter, you may have noticed the quality of some of our images. That's because one of our sponsors is pro photographer Rick Taseda, a member of the Professional Photographers of America. You can view his extensive work by going to his website at ricktaseda.com or call him for an appointment to chat about your photography needs at 813-641-4757. That's 813-641-4757. Rick Taseda Visuals. Call him for your next event or project.
Savvy business owners utilize technology to connect with customers, communicate among teams, and collaborate with partners. Even with advances in technology, you all know it's not infallible. Where do you turn when your technology starts working against you? Who do you depend on to keep your team productive? Don't wait until your technology fails you. Get ahead of the crisis and contact the professionals at Alpha Computing Solutions so they can show you how to keep your technology running smoothly. Visit them online at www.alphacomputing.com.
Who doesn't have a smartphone these days? And of course, there's an app for everything. Well, almost everything. That's why the folks at Popcorn Apps started developing mobile applications. They saw people like you with genius ideas, unable to make those thoughts a reality. They develop applications for tens of thousands of dollars less than you'll find anywhere else, and will turn your idea into a reality in a matter of just a few months. Think you're not ready? Think again. They are your one-stop shop for mobile application development. See them at popcornapps.com with a K in popcorn, or call them at 727-415-6705 for your free consultation and pop your kernel of an idea into $1 million business and a world changer starting today. Did you know the biggest challenge business leaders face today is creating an engaged and productive workforce culture? Bill Meyer Ham Consulting wants to help you solve this challenge. They will help you transform your workforce culture to produce amazing business results. Call Bill Meyer Ham Consulting at 941-201-4650 today or visit BillMeyerHam.com. That's BillMeyerHam.com. Have a conversation.
I knew Mom wanted to stay at home. It's the center of her family, her life. But helping Mom stay in her home while managing mine was just too much. Honestly, it wasn't just about me. Mom didn't want me to be her caretaker. She wanted me to be her daughter. I felt so alone until I found out about Home Instead Senior Care. When we met the people at Home Instead, we just knew they were different. The experience was personal. And most importantly, for Mom and me, I get to be her daughter again.
Home Instead Senior Care. To us, it's personal.
At Vein 911, we will help you feel great again. Do you have restless legs, night leg cramps, or ankle swelling? Restless legs, cramping, swelling, and tired heavy legs are often symptoms of hidden vein disease. You do not have to have visible bulging veins to have the symptoms of vein disease. The vein care specialists at Vein 911 are uniquely qualified to evaluate and treat your veins. Are you unhappy with your previous vein treatment? Vein 911 succeeds where others fail. Call Vein 911 today at 855-VEIN-911. That's 855-834-6911 to book your free consultation. Vein 911. We will help you feel great again.
Slow traffic in the Wesley Chapel area on eastbound State Road 54 approaching State Road 56. Crash there in the right-hand lane. Also a disabled vehicle on westbound I-4 near Alexander. That has traffic slow through the Plant City area. Crash in Pinellas County on 66th Street just north of 46th Avenue North, and one on southbound US 19 approaching Gulf to Bay. See traffic problems, call the injury firm of Abrahamson Urich. Hillsborough Traffic Tip Line 866-545-9595.
This report is brought to you by Unbound. A more peaceful, healthy world happens one person at a time. Around the globe, there are children who dream of helping their families, who hope for the future, and who have a name. Know the person you're helping directly at unbound.org. That's unbound.org.
Breezy and humid today with a slight chance of showers, high 80. Tonight, partly cloudy and muggy, low 67. Tomorrow, partly cloudy and warmer, high 82.
You're listening to That Business Show with Jamie and Kelly on 1250 Winds WHNZ. Missed a show? Then head over to TampaBayRadio.com, where all shows are available on demand. Once again, here are your hosts, Jamie and Kelly.
And we're back to That Business Show with Jamie and Kelly, where business becomes show business. I'm your host, Jamie Maloney, alongside Kelly Wilson, and we work to bring you stories of entrepreneurs and community leaders each and every morning here on the morning airwaves. And when we invite you over to TampaBayRadio.com to learn more, and if you'd like to get on the program and share with us a little bit about your business or organization, visit tbsinterview.com. Talking to Bryant Jones, president of the Sabal Trust Company, and learn more at sabaltrust.com. And it's all about money management in this discussion. So, Bryant, what do you see in the future for your industry right now?
You know, it's as we mentioned in the last segment, you've got a lot of trends that you see in the marketplace. From our standpoint, we feel like full disclosure in terms of fees, making the process of investment money easier to understand, of investing money easier to understand, not less or more difficult, we think is a positive trend that will happen at some point. You don't necessarily see it today. But
how is regulation though impacting your business? Because I know when financial advisors come in, they're very regimented on what they can say and not say. I mean, I even had one who wanted to be a sponsor, but their company, which is a major company, said, "Well, you got to tape all the episodes and we got to edit them." I said, "I can't do that. I'm a live program. We can't do that." And so, are you not under that same regulation there as a financial advisor?
We're highly regulated. We're regulated by the state of Florida. So we have pretty watchful eyes on us. You know, the big news in our business is this fiduciary rule. Sabal always acted as a fiduciary. Part of that is our trust background. When you serve as a trustee, you've always been required to meet that fiduciary standard. I mean, you are a fiduciary. So from our standpoint, it really doesn't affect us that much. But I tell you, we think it's good for the business. We think any trend that says you got to act in your customer's best interest as opposed to your own.
So financial advisors are not necessarily fiduciaries, whereas people that work with Sabal Trust are fiduciaries.
Yeah. We act in a fiduciary manner in certainly everything that we do.
And explain to people what a fiduciary is, because some people don't even know what that is.
Yeah, sure. So basically, we're acting on another's behalf, and we have to do so solely with that client's intentions, best intentions in mind. We can't make decisions based on what's best for Sabal. So in other words, we couldn't say, okay, we have this choice of investment versus this other choice of investment, and we'll choose the latter because we get paid more money. No, we have to act and are held accountable to act in the best interest of our clients.
I always think about that from the real estate industry. That's why I've always heard the fiduciary.
Well, you're getting into single agent transaction broker. Realtors by default are transaction brokers. They're not fiduciaries.
So maybe it's the board of realtors that then puts you into a fiduciary.
No, you have to go into a single agent notice or a relationship. It's not by default. You're just a transaction broker. You're acting on behalf of your interest to get the deal done on both sides, and so it gets into the whole area of law and everything. But we don't have time to discuss right now. We'll talk about that in the next segment.
We don't have to do that.
Single agent transaction broker, no broker.
Okay, fiduciary duties, we got it. But I would think it's a good thing.
It is. It is. You know, one of the other things that we see in our business and the direction that we'd find this somewhat troubling is that this move towards everything being automated. You go online, you go to a site, they'll manage your money for you. You fill out a questionnaire online, they take care of all of that. And again, that's fine for a lot of folks. From our standpoint, we feel like this is a relationship business. You can't understand what you want to accomplish unless you spend a lot of time building a relationship with an individual.
Relationships are still important today.
Critical.
All right. Bryant Jones, president of Sabal Trust Company. Thank you so much for being in studio.
Thank you, guys.
And again, reach out to them, sabaltrust.com. You're listening to That Business Show with Jamie and Kelly, where business becomes show business.
Hi, I'm Kelly Ham from Bill Meyer Ham Consulting. Did you know that one of the biggest challenges that leaders face is getting their employees to be engaged, motivated, and producing amazing business results? At Bill Meyer Ham Consulting, we'll help you transform your workforce culture from one that might be underperforming, maybe mediocre, to achieving amazing business results. You see, we realize that your workforce culture is equally as important as your business plan and your business strategy. The two must be aligned in order for you to reach your desired business and financial goals.
Carol,
hey Jim.
I just got this plan that could really help with our process here.
Okay, why don't you just have a seat and let's go over it.
Let us help you transform your workforce culture by leveraging your most important assets, your people. I want to know what's going on in your organization. Let us help you transform your workforce culture. Let's have a conversation.
I feel guilty that I can't always be there when Mom feels stuck at home. She was always there for us. But now she can't get out, and I'm not always available to take her places. Someone else needs to help her get around. Then I learned about Home Instead. Now Mom can do what she enjoys because her personal caregiver is there, and I can just be a daughter again.
Are you struggling to care for your loved one? We can help. Home Instead Senior Care. To us, it's personal.
With a mix of sun and clouds, high reaching the upper 70s, near 80 degrees. Look for the low dipping into the mid to lower 60s tomorrow. Low 80s, mix of sun and clouds. Impact Radio 1250 wins, WHNZ.
You're listening to That Business Show with Jamie and Kelly on 1250 wins, WHNZ. Missed the show? Then head over to TampaBayRadio.com, where all shows are available on demand. Once again, here are your hosts, Jamie and Kelly.
And we're back to That Business Show now with Jamie and Kelly, where business becomes show business. We're here Monday through Friday, 7 a.m. to 9 a.m., and live stream available over at TampaBayRadio.com. And in that last segment, Kelly, you were touching briefly on the fiduciary role with regard to real estate agents, and so I'll clarify that just a little bit more. But
oh, please do.
and Kelly also used to be a real estate agent herself.
Yeah, it's actually been a few.
Don't you remember when you first started, you had to get the transaction broker notice signed?
That's what it was, and I always was proud to go into more of a single agent role, to have that fiduciary duty. I haven't sold a home since 2011 is when I officially retired my real estate career. So I had forgotten, but it brought it back when Bryant was referencing it.
There are three relationships a realtor can enter into with their clients in the state of Florida. You have the single agent, you have the transaction broker, and then you have a no brokerage relationship, and that has to do with the number of duties that you owe to your client. The main difference between a single agent and a transaction broker is the duty of loyalty.
Right.
Loyalty exists on the fiduciary side. That means you are loyal to your client 100%. You act in their best interest. With a transaction broker, that duty is removed.
Right.
There's 7 duties, which is to be expected: accounting for all funds and disclosing anything known
skill,
about the property.
care, and diligence in the transaction.
Right.
I remember that.
But loyalty is not there, and so what that means is a real estate agent acts in the interest of the overall transaction. So they're brought together to make sure that the deal gets done. As a matter of fact, they're restricted by law to make comments to the cooperating agent as to whether or not their seller will take less for the property or more for the buyer would be paying more willing to pay more for the property, depending on which side they're representing. Their transaction brokers, they're there to facilitate a transaction, and it's a lot of people think that they're there to act in their best interest of the client. They're not. Now, some agents will enter into a single agent notice when they're representing buyers, but you got to be careful when you enter into a single agent notice with a seller because of the what's the thing? I'm drawing a blank on it right now. The dual representation that it creates in Florida, the dual agency, which is illegal in Florida because the relationship is with the broker of record, which then extends to all the agents in the office. So if an agent then brings a buyer to the listing and we're in the same office, it creates a dual agency relationship.
Well, and if you're representing the seller and then you happen to find the buyer too, you can't represent both of them in a single agency relationship. So you at that point would have to transition to a transaction.
Yeah, you transition to a transactional broker relationship. And so it gets into some pretty deep areas of law. I've sat through discussions with it, and it's very confusing and mind-bending when it comes right down to it. But, generally speaking, for the public, just know that your real estate agent is by default in a transaction broker role. Their job is to get the deal done for both sides. If you want to be in a single agent relationship, you're going to have to sit down and talk with them and about what that means. And I can tell you a lot of them probably don't even know how to even explain it to you. So,
which is sad.
A lot of the new agents they're taught that stuff in real estate school, but it's very difficult to understand.
Yeah, back when I was in late 90s, when I was licensed or whenever that was, it was you were taught to be a single agent if possible. It was welcomed. It was, what do you call that?
It was legal.
Yeah, well, no, it was suggested, however you would say that, because it was better for
it'd be better for the client,
exactly.
Yes, that you're acting in their best
interest.
interest.
And then, obviously you transition to a transaction, just like we talked about earlier, but it is in the best interest of the client for you to be a single agent.
Yeah, depending on what state that you're in, though, dual agency comes into play with regard to...
At least as far as Florida goes.
And it's that's why everybody in Florida generally stays transaction brokers. But you will get buyer agents that will do a single agent role, but when you're selling a home, it creates a whole different a situation in the event that another agent within the office brings a buyer to that listing, because everything falls underneath the broker's umbrella. And so just one of those things about real estate.
Yeah.
Very disjointed industry nonetheless. And
you still spend a lot of time in that industry.
Yeah, well, I still do. Yes, that's actually how this whole radio show got together. And I was just talking yesterday that we're in week 96 of that business show, and that doesn't even include the real estate show, and we're approaching 500 episodes now. So I used to talk all about real estate on the program. All those shows are still up on TampaBayRadio.com. Across the menu bar, it says JMRES, and that's all the old Jamie Maloney real estate shows. Yeah, there we go. We got it up on the live video stream. It's up there next to On Demand. I think I did like 60 or 70 different shows on the real estate show before that business show took off in February.
So it's an exciting December. You'll be wrapping up 100 shows then.
Yep, we will be wrapping up 100 shows now. I got to remember to include you now into this.
Yeah,
yes.
You can't leave me out. Well,
Kelly is throwing a wrench into my whole plans here now, so I got to go change all these logos and places, and so it's
I threw a wrench in his plans.
Yeah. So it's
a good wrench.
Let's talk about some upcoming events that we have with regard to the Tampa Bay business owners.
Goal fulfillment.
Goal fulfillment, which is the next main event on December 7th. That'll be going on at the Center Club from 5 to 7:30, and this is always our signature event each and every month. So we got a panel of speakers that are be talking about how they track and measure their goals, and how you can track and measure your goals and your progress in 2017.
Yeah, if you didn't hit where you needed to be in 2016, or even if you did, you can always learn more and start planning now for next year if you have not.
This is a free event to the membership of TBBO. Non-members, it's $49. But if you send me an email and then you would like to attend, we'll issue a one-time pass. We do invite people to come out to the events and learn about them. And again, you can just send an email, jamie@tampabayradio.com. December 7th from 5 to 7:30 at the Center Club. And if you've never been to the Center Club, it's definitely worth checking out. I spend a lot of time over there, and it's a nice little business club atop the 8th floor over there on the Urban Center at the Kennedy and West Shore intersection. Also coming up next month, we have an
podcasting.
Event. The podcasting event that Chris Kermitzos will be pulling that up right now. That's going to be on December 15th. And for people that are not familiar with podcasting, Chris is quite the expert in it, and it's going to be driving traffic via podcasting. And so that'll be here at the station on 4002 West Gandy Boulevard from 1 o'clock to around around 5 o'clock, and it is free to the membership. And if you would like to attend as a guest, you'll have to send me an email, and we'll get you into that. But a lot to know about podcasting, and I keep learning more and more about it myself. I just yesterday I started developing. I found a way to create an app for the program through the Libsyn service. And so Libsyn.com is for all you podcasters out there. That's the first step to creating a podcast to get it to iTunes. But they have a service inside there where they will build an app for you, and it'll be available on the iOS and the Android operating systems. And it's part of the monthly fee. It's like an extra $50 or something. So here very soon we'll have an app on the iOS and on the Android operating systems. And so very excited about that as well.
So an app, how is that different from what we have now? Like,
It'll be an actual.
luckily you handle all that.
If you go into iTunes, you can pull up the show. If you go into Google Play, you can pull
did
up
say now
the
we're
show.
on Google Play too.
Yeah, and so we're both inside those two platforms. An app means you can actually download the app onto your smartphone or your tablet, and then you can hit the app on your phone, and it'll bring up all the shows, and it'll have some other neat little features too. Versus just going into the store and just finding the show that way.
So now it will be available on their app as well.
Yeah, now it'll be available as an app on the iOS and on the Android operating systems. It'll take 4 to 6 weeks to get built, but it'll be an easy way to connect with the program whenever you miss a show, and so I'm very excited about that.
So they build something individually for the show?
Yep. Yeah, the service, which is Libsyn, it's just all I had to do was input some of the images, some basic information, and then their builder, whatever, creates just a default app. It's nothing flashy or flamboyant, but it's an app nonetheless, and it gets the basics of the app out to the marketplace and everything. So very excited to get that. That'll be available here within the next few weeks. After that, I think we're pretty much wrapped up for the month. It'll be a nice little vacation there. Christmas and Christmas Eve, though, falling on the weekend, though, this year.
I know. We'll have to work out some extra days to sleep.
Yeah, so
I can't believe we're wrapping up the end of the year already.
Yeah, we're not getting the extra, midweek break this year. So, but people will recognize the holidays on probably Friday and Monday.
Yeah,
and then also means that New Year's Eve is also going to be on Saturday.
Saturday night.
Saturday and Sunday, and so we're not getting the extra break this year with a middle of the week break. But yeah, so Christmas and Christmas Eve are on Saturday and Sunday, as is New Year's and New Year's Eve, and then it'll be the start of a new year. But right around the corner, the awards show dinner. So that's the next big event, and so January 23rd, the second annual That Business Show Awards Dinner, and you can pick up tickets right now for that over at TampaBayRadio.com. $59 for the TBBO members, and $69 for non-members, and that's going to be at the new Brian Glazer Family JCC, located at 522 North Howard Avenue.
And it'll be here before you know it. I can't believe it's Thursday is already December 1st. Like, November just flew by. I know we say that about all the months, but...
And we are marketing tables, too, so you can pick up an entire table of 10 seats and be a recognized sponsor of the event. All that pricing is up on tbbo.org/events or the link through TampaBayRadio.com. And so pick up those 10 seats, and then you can then sell them back to people within your sphere of influence, and you get to be the recognized sponsor. And so an excellent opportunity.
So coming up January 9th, we'll announce the nominations for the winners. So if you've not yet been on the show, you've got one more month to come in and make a lasting impression.
Yep. January 9th.
Get nominated for one of the categories. What categories do we have?
There's best business. There'll be best startup, most innovative, best use of social media, best doctor, most inspirational story. Let's see, I think that's about 6 of them there. I don't know them all off the top of my head, but it'll be a fun evening. Last year's was sold out in 3 days, and it was at the Center Club. The only mistake made last year was the room was too small. So this year we got a room that will hold up to 600, and it's a new event venue, and so it'll be the first time a lot of people are seeing this venue. It's the old Armory building, which has been renovated and rehabbed, and it's opening up this month, as a matter of fact.
Yeah, actually, I got a postcard in my mailbox the other day about that organization. They want you to become a member.
Yeah.
And it was talking about the gym that they have inside and the pool and all. I didn't realize. I've only heard of it from us obviously planning the award show. So this place has everything, apparently.
Yeah, it has an Olympic-sized swimming pool, a very large gym. It's got a little restaurant, or not really a restaurant, but a cafe inside there. It's also an office space for people. A huge event a huge event room with built-in stage and audio and video that'll descend from the ceilings if you use the in-house audio video company. And it's very very nice and right there in South Tampa, and perfectly located, and it'll attract a lot of events. As a matter of fact, just talking with somebody last week who was trying to get their event for October booked, and they were already sold out for most of the year. They're like, well, we have something available in April with regard to the weekends, and so not a lot of availability right now.
How is the parking there?
Parking is very good. I specifically asked them that because I said if I hit 400 or 500 people, well, I need to bring in a valet service or arrange for parking. They said no. And if you look at the parking lot, it's quite spacious, and they got this lot across the street across from Howard there, and there will be plenty of parking spots.
Yeah, we still need a main sponsor for the event that would have their name included on all of the nomination cards and all of the guests.
Yeah, if you'd like to get involved as the presenting sponsor, I haven't been marketing it too much, but I will start marketing it much more now that we're getting a little bit closer. And reach out to us, and you can see what it entails over at tbbo.org/awards, or you can find the link again from the homepage of TampaBayRadio.com. Got to take a break, but we'll finish up this program when we come back in just a moment. And you're listening to That Business Show with Jamie and Kelly, where business becomes show business.
What's up, business rock stars? Are you ready to bring out the CEO in you? Join Julianne Nichols, CEO of Focus on You Strategy, every other Friday on That Business Show. She'll be talking with other chief entrepreneurial officers about how they grew their businesses. Remember, you could join the conversation at Focus on You Strategies Focus Fridays Facebook group at facebook.com/groups/Focus Fridays. That's facebook.com/groups/Focus Fridays. Be the CEO of you. Did you know the biggest challenge business leaders face today is creating an engaged and productive workforce culture? Bill Meyer Ham Consulting wants to help you solve this challenge. They will help you transform your workforce culture to produce amazing business results. Call Bill Meyer Ham Consulting at 941-201-4650 today, or visit BillMeyerHam.com. That's BillMeyerHam.com. Have a conversation.
I knew Mom wanted to stay at home. It's the center of her family, her life. But helping Mom stay in her home while managing mine was just too much. Honestly, it wasn't just about me. Mom didn't want me to be her caretaker. She wanted me to be her daughter. I felt so alone until I found out about Home Instead Senior Care. When we met the people at Home Instead, we just knew they were different. The experience was personal. And most importantly, for Mom and me, I get to be her daughter again.
Home Instead Senior Care. To us, it's personal.
At Vein 911, we will help you feel great again. Do you have restless legs, night leg cramps, or ankle swelling? Restless legs, cramping, swelling, and tired heavy legs are often symptoms of hidden vein disease. You do not have to have visible bulging veins to have the symptoms of vein disease. The vein care specialists at Vein 911 are uniquely qualified to evaluate and treat your veins. Are you unhappy with your previous vein treatment? Vein 911 succeeds where others fail. Call Vein 911 today at 855-VEIN-911. That's 855-834-6911 to book your free consultation. Vein 911. We will help you feel great again. If you've been following That Business Show on Facebook and Twitter, you may have noticed the quality of some of our images. That's because one of our sponsors is pro photographer Rick Taseda, a member of the Professional Photographers of America. You can view his extensive work by going to his website at ricktaseda.com or call him for an appointment to chat about your photography needs at 813-641-4757. That's 813-641-4757. Rick Taseda Visuals. Call him for your next event or project.
Savvy business owners utilize technology to connect with customers, communicate among teams, and collaborate with partners. Even with advances in technology, you all know it's not infallible. Where do you turn when your technology starts working against you? Who do you depend on to keep your team productive? Don't wait until your technology fails you. Get ahead of the crisis and contact the professionals at Alpha Computing Solutions so they can show you how to keep your technology running smoothly. Visit them online at www.alphacomputing.com.
Who doesn't have a smartphone these days? And of course, there's an app for everything. Well, almost everything. That's why the folks at Popcorn Apps started developing mobile applications. They saw people like you with genius ideas, unable to make those thoughts a reality. They develop applications for tens of thousands of dollars less than you'll find anywhere else, and will turn your idea into a reality in a matter of just a few months. Think you're not ready? Think again. They are your one-stop shop for mobile application development. See them at popcornapps.com with a K in popcorn, or call them at 727-415-6705 for your free consultation and pop your kernel of an idea into $1 million business and a world changer starting today.
From the Spectrum Traffic Center.
Slow traffic on southbound US 19 from Enterprise to around Drew Street. At least one lane blocked there due to a crash. Crash in Wesley Chapel on eastbound State Road 54 at 56. The right lane blocked there. Slow traffic in Plant City on westbound I-4 approaching Alexander. Left lane blocked there. And heavy traffic in downtown Tampa on westbound I-4 approaching 275. Then on southbound 275 between downtown and Himes Avenue. See traffic problems? Call the injury firm of Abrahamson, Udrick, Hillsborough traffic tip line 866.
This report is brought to you by Boys and Girls Club of America.
It's 3 p.m. School's out for America's kids. And when school's out, clubs are in. It's time to support the Boys and Girls Clubs. Visit greatfutures.org.
Partly cloudy, breezy, and humid. Only a slight chance of rain. High 80. Partly cloudy and muggy tonight. Low 67. Tomorrow, partly cloudy. High 82.
You're listening to That Business Show with Jamie and Kelly on 1250 Winds WHNZ. Missed the show? Then head over to TampaBayRadio.com, where all shows are available on demand. Once again, here are your hosts, Jamie and Kelly.
And welcome back to That Business Show with Jamie and Kelly, where business becomes show business. Our guest for the segment has arrived. It's Vic Titness, founder and CEO of Blackstone Medical Services, and a returning guest to the program. You can learn more about him at blackstonemedicalservices.com. So, Vic, welcome to the program today.
Thanks for having me.
And you produce a device for sleep apnea, correct?
Yes, we have a medical device that we send to the patient's home, and they do the test in their home instead of having to go to a hospital or a sleep lab for the test.
And how did this come about? Was this from your own bout with sleep apnea, or how did you get into the medical services company?
So I had a history in the healthcare space. I previously started radiology practices, which I built and sold. And then being in the healthcare space, I saw that there was a need for sleep apnea testing, and I saw that the FDA had approved a home testing device. But there really wasn't a model in the United States that really made sense. So I decided to create a company that focused on, I call them the 3 pillars of our business, which is better quality, better access, and better cost. So we really drive those kind of silos to make sure that we provide those 3 better things for patients and physicians.
Now, did you take an existing model machine and tweak it in some way? Did you create your own machine here? What is the device that you're marketing?
So we don't manufacture our own device. We partnered with another company out of Australia for the device, but we're a servicer per se.
Okay, I understood now. Okay, so you're selling the device that is based in Australia, and that's what Blackstone Medical Services does then. Am I understanding that correctly?
Yes.
All right, and so when you started with Blackstone, was this your first company that you were running as an entrepreneur?
Second company as an entrepreneur.
Second company. What was the first?
The first company was a radiology practice.
Radiology practice. So why the transition from radiology into device sales?
What I learned in radiology that I didn't want to do again was I didn't like the bricks and mortar model of the business. I wanted to be able to service as many patients as I possibly could without having to open up an office in, let's say, Texas or California. So we're a nationwide company. We do business all over the country. We do business in Texas and California, for example, in New York, and we don't actually have an office there. So out of our base headquarters here in Tampa, South Tampa or West Shore, we ship devices all over the country. So the scalability and us to be able to service a broader audience is what's important.
So tell us a little bit about sleep apnea. What is it exactly?
So sleep apnea actually comes from a Greek word meaning without breath. So it's sleep without breath. And essentially what it is a moment of 10 seconds or more where you're not breathing. So I don't know if you may have a spouse that in the middle of the night is gasping for air and they just can't breathe. That's actually an obstruction of the airway. So what's happening is if you predominantly have, a thicker neck, and so it's not just people that are clinically obese, but athletes as well. And when you have a thicker neck and gravity's kind of pushing down, and at night, the airway, right, collapses. And when it collapses, the brain says, "Holy cow, dude, you're not breathing," right? And what it does is it sends an actual, and this is a lot of people don't know this, is it actually it sends a message to your adrenal glands to wake your body up, right? So what it does is it pushes a lot of adrenaline into your bloodstream to get you to
You'll
wake
up suddenly. Are the machines? I visited a friend of mine, someone I grew up with. Her mother had sleep apnea, and you would walk into the house and you could hear the machine from like down the street. It was so loud. That was years ago. Are they still that loud?
No.
So they're more quiet now. Because I would think if you did have a spouse with that, how in the world could you sleep like with that in the house?
No, they're quiet. I've seen people that use them, and you can't even tell they got something on in the house and everything. And and people swear by those things too. The people that are that have problems with sleep apnea and snoring, and they say after they've gotten one of these devices that it's changed their lives.
Does it help people that snore?
Yes, it does. The machines are very quiet now. But you can also actually use a dental appliance as well, which is an oral appliance that is kind of like a mouth guard, which you can get from a dentist that's trained in oral appliances. And that's actually a recommended treatment by the AASM, the American Academy of Sleep Medicine.
So you don't even have to wear a mask? You're saying just this type of device that you just put in your mouth at night? Is that what it is?
Exactly.
Can help you to not stop breathing.
Yes, because what it does is it actually pushes the jaw just slightly forward, so it stops the jaw from collapsing into the airway. And so, if you're having a hard time with the mask, which is a CPAP machine or an AutoPAP machine, then it will, an oral appliance, the adherence actually is a lot higher because you can travel with it. It's less obtrusive, right?
Yeah,
it'd be hard to sleep with
it's
a
not
mask
as sexy as the CPAP machine.
I was talking about this, not that specifically, but Dr. Dowd over at Feathered Sound Smiles was telling me that there is a procedure now that he can do to eliminate or greatly improve your snoring, and something I'm going to look into with him. But for people that suffer from snoring, they can also consider talking to their dentist about it. Feathered Sound Smiles, Dr. Amir Dowd being the dentist over there who does that. So who do you market your services to then? Are you dealing mostly with the doctors and you're selling to them?
We market directly to providers, yes, so physicians, every different type of physician.
All right.
Yeah.
All right, we got to wrap up the discussion, but Vic, we appreciate you stopping by this morning, and we'll talk to you again here soon.
Thanks for having me.
Okay, Vic Tipnis, again, founder and CEO of Blackstone Medical Services. Learn more at blackstonemedicalservices.com. Learn more about this program at tampabayradio.com. And if you'd like to come onto the program, you can learn more at tbsinterview.com. And please connect with us on social media, facebook.com/That Business Show. And also we have a YouTube channel where all the videos are uploaded in high definition by the hour. Simply go to youtube.com/Jamie Maloney. We'll be checking in tomorrow morning at 7 a.m. again here on That Business Show with Jamie and Kelly, where business becomes show business.